All right, as we said, we started this channel because we are big Jim Harbaugh fans. Yes, we are Lions fans. We have other channels. We have Sports Talk Detroit. We have another channel, Sports Talk Extra. But when the Chargers hired Harbaugh, we're like, we got to follow him out west. Now, we're still stuck here in Michigan, but the most recent news that we've heard when they're talking to new offensive coordinator Greg Roman, and I have another video on Greg Roman. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it, on why I think he's actually a very good hire. If you haven't seen it, don't judge. Go back and watch it. And it was a video titled, "The Chargers Need to Get This One Thing Right." This one thing right. And it was their offensive coordinator. And they did, and it's words like this that prove that he and Harbaugh know exactly what they're doing. Chargers want a great running game to bolster Justin Herbert, offensive coordinator Greg Roman says. All right, so we're going to see a couple things here. On this video, we're going to talk about what a great running game does. We're going to prove to you why you need a good running game to win at the highest level. All right, and I mean playoffs, okay? Make the playoffs, win in the playoffs. And then we're going to look at what it could look like to get one of those good running backs, or if you need to work on something else in order to get a good running game, all right? Because the running game as a whole wasn't great this year. First thing Roman said, can you imagine Justin Herbert with a great running game? Yeah. He said, we don't know, but I can imagine what it might look like. So it's kind of the vision. All right. We know that they were 24th in yards per rush, or rushing yards, 26 in yards per carry. So they're at the very bottom of the NFL. Austin Eckler has been a long time good running back for you guys, but he has talked about how he's not super happy, right? And so are you going to bring him back? Can Harbaugh bring him back? I don't know. I think he would be a great guy to come back. He's not going to be the guy getting 20 carries a game, and we'll talk about that in a second too, of what this running game could look like. But first, let's go back to why you need a good running back. He said, I think in this league, you can really help dictate the defenses if you have a strong running attack. It's what Roman said. He said, if you really talk to most defensive coordinators in this league and got them off to the side when they're playing a really good running team, they're sweating a little bit. They're sleeping a little bit less that week. I completely agree. Now, here's the other thing that he didn't say. A good running game keeps you in all games. A good running game is a great benefit to a good defense. It helps your defense improve. All right. Now, he also said, don't worry, we're not making Justin part of the running game. So he wants to have a great running game without using Herbert. Now, we know Herbert can run, but he said that's mostly going to be in scrambling situations. So why do you want to be good at running the ball? All right, let's look at the NFC championship games. NFC, AFC championship game last year. All right, you have the 49ers and the Lions, two teams that run the ball exceptionally well. They make it to the championship game. On the other side, you have the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Chiefs run the ball well. The Ravens run the ball ridiculously well. Okay? That's the way it goes. Roman, by the way, is coming from a Ravens team. Year off, but he was there. Let's go even further than that. Let's go to the playoffs in general. First, we'll look over here on the AFC team. Ravens can run it. Bills, when they got hot, it's because they started letting James Cook run the ball. Chiefs and Pacheco started running the ball this year. They did not get all this offense through the air. Texans, second half of the year, Singletary. Last 5 or 6 games when they got real hot, Singletary was hot. All right, the Browns have been one of the best running teams in football over the last 6-7 years. We'll talk more about that. All right, Dolphins absolutely could run the ball with Mostert. That's one of the big differences with them this year. Steelers, it's literally all they can do on offense. Packers, they can run the ball okay. Rams ran the ball good this year. Eagles ran the ball good this year. Buccaneers, that's the outlier. They did not run the ball good this year. Lions, Cowboys, 49ers. You have 14 playoff teams. Of those 14 teams, 13 of them have average to above average running games. You need a good running game to make it to the next level. Now, there's more, but for the sake of this video, we're going to stay there. So what could this look like? Well, I have a couple of thoughts. Everybody's going to want to go running back, and we're going to talk about what running back you can bring in and what I think they'll do, because Roman with the Ravens, Harbaugh with Michigan, they've had kind of a very distinct style in which they deploy their running back, so we'll talk about that. But I think what the Chargers need to look to do is to improve the interior of their offensive line. All right, Rashawn Slater, left tackle, great. He's good to go. He's your guy. He's your guy at left tackle. I think Pipkins is fine at right tackle. He's not great, all right, but he can continue to get better. He can continue to get better. He's 27 years old. He's had some good years. He's had some not so good years, but he's okay for what you're looking to do right now. All right, what you're looking to do right now. Now, let's look on the inside of this. You have Sawyer and Johnson as your guards. This is not good. These are two guys, when you rate them out on PFF, they rate at 44th and 56th. So that means both of them are bottom quarter starters in the NFL for guards. That's what it is. By my math, you have 64 starting guards in the NFL. And so you want those guys to be in a top 32 because that means that they would start for any team. Both of these guys, they're 56 and 44th. And their play kind of dictates it. But not all hope is lost. Not all hope is lost because they're not old. All right, Sawyer is 23 years old. He's a 6th round selection. I understand that. All right, and I'm not saying that he's the answer, but he's young. Zion Johnson out of Boston College. He just played his 2nd year. He was even worse this year than he was the year before. You get some good coaching in there, you could have something good. This is a 1st round selection. He's 24 years old. These guys are young. So the answer might be going and drafting a really high quality center to put in between them. And then all of a sudden it looks a ton better. It looks a ton better. The answer might be replacing one of them in a center. I don't know exactly what it is, but I would look to see them build the interior of the offensive line in order to help the running back. Now, what about the running back itself? All right, first you can look to the free agency side. All right, and in that, you have guys like Saquon Barkley. That's $12 million running back. You have Josh Jacobs. That's a $10 million running back. You have Derrick Henry. It's a $10 million running back. By the way, everybody's like writing it off that Derrick Henry's going to the Ravens. There's a good chance that he goes to either the Texans or the Chargers as well. All right, Tony Pollard, $10-11 million running back. All right, Austin Eckler, you know him. He should be a $6-7 million running back. DeAndre Swift, $6-7 million running back. All right, Swift kind of is like what we all hope Eckler was. He's what you hope Swift can be. All right, J.K. Dobbins, a lot of injuries. Singletary, Dillon, Moss. By the way, of all these, go get this guy, Zach Moss, Indianapolis Colts. He played really well in relief for Jonathan Taylor. When you look at his missed tackles per forced attempt, you look at his yards after contact, he is above everybody else on this list. I mean, like, he is right there with all of them. All right? He is, I'm just telling you. So he's a guy that you're just like, all right, that's the best bang for my buck. Also, you got a bunch of running backs that you can get in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round of the draft. You got Brooks out of Texas. You got Trey Benson, big boy. All right, Blake Corum, Bucky Irving. All right, Audric Estime, another big boy. Blake Corum, it's Harbaugh's guy. Like, they love each other, right? Like, and you can get this guy in the 3rd round. You can get running backs in the 4th round. There's another massive running back out of Wisconsin. There's running backs all over this place. All right, so you look at this and you have to realize, like, running back might be the easiest position to improve on quickly at the cheapest cost. That's what running back is, because the best running back in free agency right now is 10 to 12 million. 10 to 12 million. That's what it is. The best running back in free agency. The best wide receiver, they're talking up to 30, which is nuts, by the way, for Mike Evans. All right, but they're talking about up to 30 at wide receiver. You think about different positions, even guards, right? It's going to be 10 to 15 million, maybe 15 to 20 million. So running back is the easiest one. It's also the easiest one to draft. So my guess is that they're going to go out and they're going to sign a running back. in free agency, and then they will draft a running back, and it will be a two-headed monster because that's what both of them have liked to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a third one in there as well. All right, hope you enjoy it. We want to be your go-to spot for Chargers football. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.